from Boston and beyond. Heat981fm.com and iHeartStation.
Tonight's episode of Conversations with Coach La is brought to you by Virtual Services by Shamina Austin. Do you need to delegate some tasks, or are you looking to declutter a space? Well, assign it to her. Introducing Virtual Services by Shamina Austin. She's currently accepting new clients and offers a variety of back office services depending on your needs. Contact Shamina at 857-273-1528, 857-273-1528, or email shaminaaustin@gmail.com for more information.
Conversations with Coach La. Coach La, your favorite neighborhood therapist, having real hard convos, contrasting pessimists. Generational trauma explored, broach delicate, getting to the root of the pain, healing impediments. Every week signs copay free lessons. Bet on self, trust the process, no questions. Feel your feels, journey to be healed, no stressing. Conversations with Coach La's now in session.
Nancia, Smokehouse, it's the urban heat. Shout out to Coach La.
Coach LA, it's time to listen to conversations that's gonna keep you winning. Sunday nights at 10 p.m. on the urban heat, just calling. Conversations with Coach La 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 La. Coach La 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 La. If you got something on your mind, you can call in, you can hit a line. She the realest, ooh, she the realest. You can tap in, now I always get a business to empower you so that you can do every and anything that you want to. Kicking it with Coach LA, it's time to listen to conversations that's gonna keep you winning. Sunday nights at 10 p.m. on the urban heat, just calling. Conversations with Coach La 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 La. Coach La 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 La.
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Coach La La La. How y'all doing? I hope y'all feeling good. I'm feeling great. It's been a great weekend. I know you always outside, Coach. Tell us something we don't know. But you guys are tuned into the Urban Heat, Boston's only Black-owned radio station on the iHeartRadio platform. And I go by Coach La La La, your favorite around the way therapist. And I'm super excited about tonight's show in particular, especially coming off of such a great weekend. My son turned 20. I cannot believe I have a 20-year-old son. But my son turned 20, and we did Top Golf. I never did Top Golf. So we did Top Golf, and that was really great. I want to give a shout out to the team. Of course, the Urban Heat is always busy out in these streets. Serendipity a la mode was a hit. Silk did their thing. Shout out to Danger, Franchise Entertainment, Seth Lowe, which you know holds it down with Mic Check 1212 on Mondays. We also have my special guest who's here. He also did Brown Sugar with Diane Vivian Productions, and he performed. So we really are out here in the community and doing great things for the community. Today we were at the Supreme Team Cookout. The Urban Heat was also present there. So we are outside, folks. We stay outside. We love the community. We love being the bridge that really brings folks together. You know, music is one of those ways of doing that. Music, food, conversation, it brings folks together. So tonight, we're going to be talking about healing through art. And I got some Poetherapy alumni. Some people remember that Poetherapy was an extension of my practice, and that I'm a strong advocate for narrative therapy and art therapy and using spoken word, journaling, just all of the mediums really to express your emotions. So tonight, I had to pull out some Poetherapy alumni to come and help me with this conversation. And I'm excited about them because both of them actually have participated in multiple Poetherapies. And I'm going to play a little clip from one of the previous Poetherapies because I need y'all to understand the vibes. So let me let y'all see.
You have arrived to Poetherapy, baby. As you can see, it's a full house.
I got black love and marriage, yeah. All right, y'all. I don't want to give too much because they try to shut you off on Facebook. You start playing too many of the hits. But y'all get the vibes, right? So sometimes I got to remind y'all, Coach was doing big things here in the city of Boston around poetry, coming right off of COVID and really creating some strong platforms for, I would say, local artists, artists that people didn't know about, popular artists, novices to the mic. It was an open mic. It was a little bit of everything, but the idea was to make it therapeutic and make it a safe space for people to talk about their feelings and their emotions through spoken word and through the arts. So tonight we have Mr. Rey Royale. Now, y'all don't know this, but I'm gonna give y'all a little background. We go way, way, way back, like Teeny Juices and Penny Candy. Yeah, we go back like that. Like we was like in grade school together. So I ain't gonna give y'all this government, but yeah, we go way, way back. But he's a Boston-based R&B artist, and he has a magnetic stage presence. Recently, I was blessed for my birthday month to go to his White Heart R&B nights at the City Winery, and baby, you had to be there. Don't miss the next one, okay? Y'all better stop playing, okay? He's a radio personality that brings an authentic storytelling through the music, but he also brings that through the Rey Royale experience that happens every Tuesday night right here on the Urban Heat from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. with J.O. City. My Angelina Songbird is on there. So he got heavy hitters all day, every day, holding him down on the Rey Royale experience. And he advocates for self-expression as a form of emotional healing. If you've ever had the opportunity to listen to his catalog, his lyrics are everything. So go Google him, go listen to his music. He's on all platforms, but it's all about the lyrics. Of course, he got a smooth, sexy voice too, but his lyrics, I heard J.O. City wrote some of them songs, but his lyrics are everything. Then we also have Miss Reesa Write. Yes, I love her name. I told her when I met her that was just a cool pen name. She's a Boston-based author. She has 3 self-published books. Y'all heard that, self-published. That's a big deal, including poetry and memoirs. She's a spoken word performer who actually opened up for Maui the Poet at City Winery doing one of her favorite and my favorite pieces, I Am Enough. You got to hear it. Hopefully, maybe she might even, drop a couple bars for us tonight. So she has been on several stages and podcasts, and she's the founder of Reesa Write, Inc., where she helps others tell their stories through spoken word and just writing their books. So she is awesome. Both of these people, both of these artists are dear and near to my heart because they help bring the brand and the vision of Poetherapy alive. So without further ado, I want to bring Mr. Rey Royale and Reesa Write onto the virtual couch. What y'all doing? How y'all feeling?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm feeling good. How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
The mic
blessed.
sounds nice. How you doing over there, Reesa?
I'm doing great. I'm really, really, really excited to be here.
Yes, I'm
really
excited. Yes, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
But you've been a busy bee. I've seen you outside. You've been outside. I've been seeing you performing all across the city, and it's beautiful. Rey, you've been performing not just in Boston, but you've been also out of town and from Connecticut on the tri-state, just doing your thing. I'm super proud of y'all, first and foremost. I wanted to bring y'all both back because you've both been on the show before.
Yes.
At different intervals as you were going through different things. Sometimes people think because we carry it well that it's not heavy. And I think both of you guys really do a really great job of showing up and showing out despite what you're going through. Extremely resilient authors and artists. And I wanted to talk about how we use art, how we use art to heal. And when I think about art, it's not just music, it's all the things, right? It's all the things. And so beyond your bios and what I told people about you, what do you want them to know that's not listed that I didn't say, since it's been a minute since people have really had you sit down on the virtual couch? So what's been up? I'll start with you, Reesa.
Hey everybody. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Like I said, I'm really excited to be here. It's been a minute. I first just want to say real quick, thank you for having me.
Yes.
And I have been watching you, even though we have not seen each other in a while, in a good enough amount of time.
Right.
I've been cheering you on from online. So just to say that.
Yes,
and
man.
You've been glowing and I've been watching you, and you have been inspiring me to stay out there, just so you know. So,
I appreciate y'all. Like I said, people don't know what we are carrying.
Right.
People don't know all that it takes to show up as Reesa Write, to show up as Rey Royale, to show up as Coach La. Like it ain't easy all the time, but we make it look easy, we make it look good, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for the shout out. Now, what you been up to, girl?
I'm pretty sure I spoke last time on being an educator, and I'm working with the youth. So the last time I was here, it's been 2 years. I had to go back. I wanted to make sure I knew exactly how long it's been. So it's been 2 years, and more in the 2 years than not. I got 2024, I got really engulfed in my work, and career wise, and with the youth, and I work with middle school age. And then it pushed me into the fall of last year. I actually ended up taking a break. So I went on a hiatus. I know you were one of the people that reached out to me, actually.
I was like, where you at, girl? What you doing? She was like, I'm practicing some self-care. I need a minute. Life is life, and I'm gonna take a little second and recharge.
Yeah.
But I was happy to hear you say that,
Yeah.
Because as we are pursuing our dreams, our goals, and our aspirations, life is not discriminating. It's not like it goes, oh, well, you're a good person, so you're not going to going through anything right now. You have no struggles. You're going to be great. It doesn't work like that.
Mm-mm.
So, some of the most successful people are dealing with a lot and navigating a lot. So shout out to J.O. City is on the live. Vela Ray, I see you. What's going on, Angelina Songbird?
Hey.
What's going on, my love? We love you.
Yes.
Opal, what's going on, girl? We love you too.
Yes.
Opal always shares the
Always
show.
showing love.
I appreciate you so much. And Leroy, what's up? Yes, Leroy, I'm so happy you guys are here. Shout out to everybody on Instagram too, because I see y'all checking in on the check-in.
Yes.
And we got check-ins on LinkedIn, and we got check-ins also on YouTube.
Oh,
So
man.
appreciate
Shout out to
y'all.
everybody showing love right now.
Yes, we appreciate y'all. So you've been doing your education, you took a break, you've been performing.
Yeah.
What about you, Ray? What you been up to? What beyond what we know about you, and because you've been busy too, and you've been outside.
Yeah. I proclaim this to be the year of Rey Royale. So I have just been on the grind and discovering new things that I wanted to do. One of them was I wanted to jump into the bag of hosting. So I created my own another entity. I know I got Rey Royale experience, and I have the music, but I also jumped into sing-alongs. And if anybody don't really know what sing-alongs are, it's kind of a different version of karaoke, where the host is carrying the load of doing the most of singing. But for those people who, most people don't like to go on stage and have the spotlight on them, you can kind of sing from your chair and have a good time, man. My first one was a sellout, man. I got one coming up real soon. So it's just super dope, man. And just building my radio show. That's been on the thing. I got a new project that's coming out. I got a new single out called I Want You. It is out right now. So yeah, I'm working, definitely.
I definitely will have to say y'all have been outside. It's been beautiful to see you both be outside doing what you love. And you can just tell. You can tell when somebody loves what they're doing. I feel like we kind of get tunnel vision and we go into a space,
Right.
which you hear a lot of entertainers talk about, there was a lot going on. But then when I hit that stage, there was a lot going on. But when that mic turned on, I went into a different place. And I feel like to a certain extent for me, I think that's where it really does feel like therapy or narrative therapy, or when we tell somebody to have an alter ego or envision what you want yourself to look like, right? So Coach La is like a manifestation of a different side of Lakeisha, right? Like she's outspoken, she's fearless, she's confident, she don't take no trash, she speaks her mind. So sometimes you got to create these alter egos to allow different elements of yourself to come out. What do y'all think about that?
That's so dope because for me, I feel like Ronaldo is a very laid back individual, doesn't really talk much, not really a party person. Rey Royale is totally different. Rey Royale is the life of the party. And I feel like sometimes when people meet me, they're looking to meet that that guy that they've seen on stage. But it's when you, I always say when you're up there, it's nothing like being under those lights, and it's therapeutic. It helps. I've gotten through so much in my life from doing music and being able to write songs and being able to be on stage. It's funny. It's more hard for me to talk with you two instead of talking with like 30,000 people in front of me. It's really.
I've heard that a lot from artists.
It's really you just can't understand it when the people are there and they're with you, and it's just a feeling that I just can't express. And I never will be able to. I love it.
Yeah. What about you, Reesa? Can you relate?
Well, as Ray was saying that, I was thinking that's what I want to get to. So I'm a very personable person. So I'm a more one-on-one. But in becoming a poet, that got me out there, right? So that got me out of my shell. It got me. And what I will say about the artist community is it's just, for me, it's such a safe space. So, I've learned now to like enjoy being vulnerable, enjoy doing my pieces. And it's like, it's like you don't have to know anyone in the room. You don't have to know any of the artists, and everyone just supports each other. It's just like this, like, it's like, what do you say? I don't know the word. Unspoken love. You know what I mean? That you have between each other. It's like you don't need to know them personally. You don't need to know anything. You just literally support each other and love each other because we know what it takes to do what we do. So my challenge definitely going forward, as the You Are Enough poem made such a dent. I love doing it, but I am moving into like storytelling, poetry. I want to challenge myself to do, and just making more work now that gives that same effect, because it means so much, like when I do that poem and the reactions and responses I get. So I definitely want to like challenge myself to make new pieces and continue to make people feel that same feeling that I give them.
I love that for y'all.
That's so dope. I like what you said too, because starting off, I kind of felt like I was kind of sheltered in a way too. But getting on stage, just every single time, just did something for me. It's like another confidence came over me, and I think as you continue to grow as a poet, and as because you're an artist too, as an artist, you will feel that difference. And I know, like you said, the love in the building. That's why I said it's nothing like being under those lights, because the love that you feel catapults you to another level, and it brings out a side of you that people normally won't see. And I think that's where mine comes from. Like, it just, when I hear that, and it could just be one Ray, like one or one whatever, it just takes me to another level. That's, I'm just like, I'm ready.
It's the engagement. It's the engagement, which is why, I think is a lot of power in getting to a place of, this brought me out of my shell. Right. And I'm still figuring that out, and I'm still stepping into that discomfort, and it's helping me grow. And the other one being, it's almost like it was a spark that was like, this is what I need. This is really great for affirming and validating me, which is what season 8 is all about, right? Is the power of the pivot. rise, the reclaiming, the reinvention of yourself. Because as life is lifing, or you end up in circumstances, you're born into circumstances that you really didn't have control over. You have to at some point do what I talk about all the time, is bet on self. And how do you do that? And I think that sometimes art, being a part of a community of poets, or learning that you have a voice and utilizing it, or getting on stage and realizing, wait a minute, this feels good to me, is a way that a lot of people actually find themselves, and discover what they never knew they could do. Right. I think about when Ronnie DeVoe was talking about joining New Edition, and they brought him on, and he never thought about being in a group, but he was a great dancer. And how that experience of getting exposed to that ended up propelling him and helping him really find his confidence as a young man, and was like, wait a minute, like I'm low key a crush. I don't know if they called them sex symbols back then because they was kind of young, but I do think that art is a way of doing that. So what is art therapy? When I say that to you guys, right? What do you think about when I say art therapy?
You want to start?
Art therapy, I would say, I mean, we spoke about this before, like art was my therapy, like before real therapy. Art to me is therapy. It's so therapeutic, even from like, I mean, the last close to 2 years, like year and a half, I've gone through some major storms. Kind of like when you think you've been like, oh, it can't get no worse, and then it's like stuff that you never saw yourself going through. And I found myself like in my room shutting off, and this was like during times I took hiatuses, fasting, being off of social media, and I was buying like art supplies, I was buying coloring books, I was buying connect the dots, and I was like sitting in my room isolating and doing that like a 10-year-old child. Yeah. And I think a lot of adults, this is kind of where, when you're on your healing journey, you going back to child. You know what I mean? Like you're going back to those things that you did as a child, to calm your mind and to like, calm your anxieties and all that. So to me, art therapy is just anything that you can find yourself doing, any hobby, anything, even nature or walks, or, like I said, drawing, singing. I love to sing. My daughter's always like shaming me, like, you're tone deaf and all this. Trying to tell me I can't sing. I said, it feels good to sing, even if you can't sing all the way.
That's why they have karaoke. Listen, all us non-tone deaf people is at karaoke screaming our lights out, okay? So here's the definition. Well, wait, let me ask you first, Ray, before I give y'all the definition. What do you think it is?
For me, it's my craft. It's what I do. It's the music for me. I've as Reesa said, I went through so much like in my life, and I channeled it through my music. I've channeled it through my radio show. I like to be the one, like I always joke with my co-hosts all the time to say, like, I'm the one who's being honest, right? And that's not necessarily true, but
yeah, because I got a whole thing about honesty and transparency, but we ain't gonna go there. That's for a different show. But
for me, I always like to put most people say, I don't like to put my business out there, right? But I feel like when you are an entertainer or whatever, to some degree, you are putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm putting myself out there right now, guys.
You just have to be more. Get into that vulnerable space where you want to do that. And it become a safe space to do that. And for me, sometimes it's not as safe as I want it to be, but it actually heals me. It actually helps me, especially writing songs. Some of my best songs were written when I was hurt.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We, at least I would say, well, like the Mary J. Blige's locally, we write some of our best stuff when we going through things. So here's the definition, right? And it's also strolling across the screen, y'all. But a therapeutic practice integrating creative expression with psychotherapeutic techniques to foster self-awareness, self-esteem, and emotional resilience. So a lot of times, right, people don't realize there's a method to all my I don't want to call it madness, but y'all get the thing. It's like there's a method to Coach's madness. Like I'm like Mrs. Miyagi, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. So a lot of times I got people doing things that they don't realize I'm therapizing them. Somebody gave me that word. I don't think that's really a word, y'all. I just did a flavor thing. That's not really a word, but you know, I
just did that for 2 hours.
Right.
Here. I
therapize you. I therapize you, you know, I coach law you, you know, I coachism, get a coachism or something. Right. But utilizing the platform of Poetherapy allowed people who weren't necessarily considered to be mainstream popular or even identified as spoken word artists to get exposed to being a spoken word artist. Right. These were people who had poetry or had been writing in their notebooks, but didn't feel like it was good enough. Right. Or didn't feel like they were the best performers. And I wanted to take all of those, that fear away and make, I guess it was like karaoke for poets. I never thought about it like that. But like, you know, it was no pressure. Right. And it was safe in that it wasn't just the most popular poets or poets that do slam poetry that are trained, and that's what they do. They go up there to like murder you lyrically to win. It was more, I'm just getting up here to talk my ish. Like I got some stuff on my chest. I wrote some stuff, and I just need to let y'all know what I'm thinking about. And I feel like when you did your piece, I Am Enough, that's kind of what it was, and we could relate to just not wanting to get dressed and not wanting to be bothered, and that poem resonated with people. And I remember how nervous you were when you did it. And that piece has become like the ish for you. And I actually was in the audience the first time you recited it. I think we had the station.
The Strand.
No, it was the station. And JP Rosendale, what's that place you had a substation? Isn't it called the substation?
Oh, when I memorized it.
You memorized it for the first time. So I was in the audience for that too, y'all. So yeah, anyways, art therapy, right, is not about it being good, right? And we talked about this offline, Ray, like what's considered good, right? Because often when you do your work, we be on Erykah Badu, I'm sensitive about my ish, right? But are we really writing it for other people to like it, or are we writing it as a self-expression? What do y'all think about that? Because I think it's a little bit of both, but what you think?
I think it's a little bit of both for me. But you have to respect that everybody is different and are going to see things differently and feel things differently too. I think one of the hardest parts of doing music for me is like, I'll be excited about something, right? Like I'll be like, man, this is probably the best song that I've ever made. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm basing it on my vocal performance, probably, because that's what I'm a singer. So I'm basing it on my vocal performance, probably what I wrote about or whatever. But sometimes, like I always try to ask the fans what they enjoy, right? Because for me, it's like these are my babies, so I know. Even though I'm not one of those people that's like everything is dope, right? I'm like, yeah, that one could have been. That was cool.
But you think sometimes we can be really, really hard on ourselves as artists, and it is good, but because we are so caught up in perfectionism that it doesn't matter. We're going to find everything that's wrong with it. I should have sang it a little bit of here. You know, I missed the line here. My pronunciation wasn't right over here. Like we can be super critical. That sometimes we need somebody to be like, no, it's good.
See, we do that to ourselves, right? But you got to know that the supporters and the fans, they're not doing that.
But are they not though? Because now I'm watching this stuff in the comments and, you know, going viral. I know I've said I wanted to go viral, and then recently I was like, do I really want to go viral? Because you bring on the trolls.
Well, you got to be ready for that.
And that's the point, right? We have to have somewhat of a thick skin. So although this is therapeutic, I think it challenges your capacity to be able to take in feedback that is not good, where people don't like you, where they think you suck. They think you can't sing. Like you have to be able to hold space for both constructive and also block out the noise.
Well, as long as it's really like, first of all, we can even get deeper on what people think sucks, because there's a lot of times there's a lot of times I hear people that everyone praises and I'm like, that sucks.
Exactly.
So we can't really say what sucks. It's a personal preference of somebody.
I love it. Bingo. And that's what I'm getting at. I think often we're so much in our head comparing ourselves that we have to hold space for two things. Right. everybody's not going to like you
Mhm.
or like your work. The
Mhm.
question is, do you like it?
Right.
You know, do you like it? Do you think it's good? And are you still open to receiving constructive feedback to get better? Because you
Right.
both can happen simultaneously. Sometimes you could think it's the best thing ever,
Mhm.
and someone goes, yeah, but you probably should get an editor. You have a lot of mistakes in your book. That would make the book a lot better. And you're like, I'm not listening to you. You got a lot of nerve. You're a hater. Right. Like, so we also can get so stuck that we don't receive.
As long as they're giving you, like you said, constructive feedback, meaning don't just say something's bad. How do you make it better? So if I had an opinion about something, right, and I was like, Coach, I didn't like the way you said this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would go, well, maybe if you said this the next time, then that would help it better. You can't just go, yo, that sucked. That's for me.
It's rude.
That's
rude and insensitive, people.
And it's disrespectful to a person's craft. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you should always offer what you think can make it better. Because again, there's
but
a lot.
That's not realistic though. Because they tell the artists don't go to the comments, because in the comments they're not going to be nice.
Because there's a bunch of people in the comments who don't have the gall to do anything that you're doing, and they're just talking.
And there's people in the comments that are saying some great things. So I'm going to relate this to being, to sports.
Mm-hmm.
For any player you name, there's people who love them and people who think that they suck or they hate them, and they're cheering for their demise.
Right.
And I think often we don't realize that that's in life, period. As much as I think I'm awesome, I love being coach, there's somebody out there that can't stand me, don't like me, don't like what I'm saying. Maybe doesn't think I should be on the radio or have a podcast. They have their opinions. They're like a-holes, right? Everybody has one. So you got to be able to take that in stride and realize that you're going to always have just as many people that like you. There's going to be equally some people that are going to tell you to hang it up and throw in the towel. You're not that great. And I think that part of this being healing, it also can be devastating. And I want to get to that because there's moments that I wanted to quit or not do what I was doing. Have you guys had moments where you was like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore.
Do you want to go there?
Kinda. Not I want to throw in the towel all the way. I think I've had like little thoughts at times of like, oh, why am I doing this? Or should I, but I think that's more like self-sabotage in a way.
But it happens, right? Like if something doesn't go right, like you have a awful performance and you forget the lines of your poem, and you practice. This happened to me for real. You practice and you thought you were ready and you go blank.
Yeah.
And you end the poem. Thankfully, nobody knew what I was supposed to do, but I always thought about like when you get to that level where people know your poem better than you. Like they know when you mess up.
Yeah. I mean, I think more for me, like, well, that's why like I pushed myself to stay inspired. So like I took my hiatus, but then I've been back out since around like April. So sometimes I really have to push myself because like I have to see it and I have to be there and I have to keep doing it in order to, fuel my motivation to know like, no, you're on the right path. Like this is what you love to do. Like, so that when those thoughts come, it's like, you just kick them out. Like, so
that's called reframing, everybody. That's actually a therapeutic intervention, right? Okay. Where you take and you shift your perspective like that and you find the positive in your negative self-talk. Good job.
Yes.
You told me before I was a therapist. You told me.
Good job. Great job. I love the way you just flipped that around, right? But the reality of it is that that's hard for a lot of us, right? Like when things don't go as planned and you feel like you put all of your effort. We was talking about this offline, Ray, of it not making sense. And often in this game of life, this stuff don't make sense. 1 + 1 don't always equal 2. You could put the best effort and you think, like you said, you put this album out, you put this new track out, you think it's awesome. The production, the engineering is on point. You feel like you sound the best that you ever did. And guess what? You do not get the feedback you thought. You don't get the energy that you thought. It is not what you thought it was. I put out content and I'm like, I think it's the best post ever. and no one likes it, right? No one shares it. And then something that I thought was like mediocre, everybody's like loving it, right? And then you have the other concept that most of us have over 2,000, 3,000 people following us. You put out a post sometimes and no one likes it or engages with it, but then you'll see them on Remy Ma and Papoose and what's happening with Clarissa Shields. Like, these people don't even care about you guys. Mm-hmm. You're in the comments and you're liking it. It's millions of people that have already said something, and your friends post, you say nothing.
You know, it's crazy. I think that's
that's a whole nother show.
I think that's something that got to me too. In the reference to the question that you asked, like, for me, I did have that moment of I never thought I would have that moment, actually. And when I did, and I needed to get out of my own thoughts, and when I changed my mind frame, everything went better for me.
Y'all see what I'm doing to y'all?
Because I was so...
do y'all peep what I'm doing to them?
Because I was.
Do y'all see that I'm making them actually talk about the real stuff? Because they sitting up here. Because see, life be lifing on artists, right? Yeah. They don't always like everything that they're doing, and getting on the stage is not easy, right? Getting on the stage when you are going through something and life is heavy, and being able to remember the lyrics of your song, all your steps, like, it takes a level of focus to block out the noise and to do what you're supposed to do. That I have a new respect for artists, right? To memorize your catalog of songs and to stay focused when life is lifing and you're going through a divorce, or you got a partner that's emotionally abusive, or someone in your family dies, and to still stay locked in.
Or your family ain't supporting.
Right. That's not easy stuff.
The person ain't supporting.
Right. And I don't think we look at what artists are going through and what they're able to do. And as an everyday human being out there, you think life is lifing on you and you can't get up and go to work, or you can't engage with your kids, or you can't get out of bed. Like, there's people that are going through it, that are showing up, especially your entertainers, with heavy stuff, trauma, pain, and all kinds of stuff that they are carrying when they come on these stages and they're performing and stuff. And we wonder why they're on like drugs and they're doing different things behind the scenes. Like, people don't think about the artists often. And I've thought about these things. The amount of artists that do drugs and drink and do all these different things, and I wonder why.
You know why? Just to give you a little insight.
I know y'all didn't expect me to go there, but
I love that.
We're gonna let this conversation flow.
I love that. So for that, I could speak for that. I was a signed artist at one point, and the pressures of what you do and all those things that you just named, sometimes everybody deals with it differently. You know what I mean? Me, I chose to put it in my music. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if you're in a group, I was in a group, for example, each one of us handled not being a group anymore differently.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it really goes to and speaks to your character, first of all, and the way that I noticed when I changed my way of thinking, the sky became the limit for me. Mm-hmm. And sometimes everybody doesn't get that opportunity to do that because they don't self-reflect, or they don't have somebody like Coach be like, hey, to give you a different perspective. Because even tonight we were talking off camera.
Yeah, we did. And I said, Ray, I'm starting to feel like we're doing a therapy session, Ray.
Yeah, exactly. And
we'll send you an invoice.
And it definitely was one. Because sometimes when you come in and you're looking at things from a negative standpoint, I don't even want to say negative. I just want to say you're looking at it one way instead of going, all right, well, there's also this way.
Right.
You know, this way to look at it. So I always want to say, like, in relationships or anything, I want to be the problem solver instead of the problem. Like,
and you got to have people around you like that. I think some of us, I've put this post up recently about, do you have real friends?
Oh,
right. Mm-hmm. And if you're not around people who help you challenge your thinking and your perspectives, then are they really your friends? If you just got a bunch of people that's always like, yeah, girl, yeah, yep, ninja, go ahead, and yep, they was wrong for that, and nobody ever stops for a second and say, wait a minute, but is there any other way to look at this? Mm-hmm. Are you sure that that's what it is? Right? There's a thing called a cognitive distortion. I challenge y'all to go look it up. We all do it. Everybody does it. Generalization, jumping to conclusions, is all cognitive distortions. We get a little bit of information, and then we get what we call confirmation bias.
Right.
We look for evidence to prove our point, and we never challenge ourselves to look beyond what we see. And that's part of why the world, in my opinion, clinical opinion, is the way that it is.
Right.
We're all judgmental. We
Right.
talked about this offline too.
Yep.
And it brings it back on topic, because sometimes y'all think I'm going off topic, but I told y'all I'm like Mrs. Miyagi, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off, right? The reality of it is to be an artist, right? And to step out and to express yourself and be vulnerable, right? Takes so much courage, right? And in therapy, I'm always telling people that they can re-author their own stories, right? You can decide how to use your trauma, your pain, and how to leverage that to be a better person. Like, it doesn't always have to break you. It doesn't always have to be the situation where hurt people.
Right.
Sometimes hurt people heal people.
Right.
Right? Because they heal themselves and they start to ask themselves, where did this come from? Hurt people can also develop a level of empathy and self-compassion that sometimes people who've never gone through anything will never possess, because you ain't never been through nothing. Right? So, but we're all judging, right? And it's not that judging is the bad part. It's what do you do with the judgments, right? When we listen to your music, we're making a judgment about what we think that song is about, how it hit us, how it moved us, what part of the lyrics we liked. Like, judgment is just a vocabulary word, people. It's not a bad thing, right? We use these words as almost, I don't know, what's the word I want? Shade, throwing shade. You know, you're so judgmental. What are you really telling me if you're telling me I'm judgmental? What are you saying about me, right? Or what does that mean to be judgmental? So I just ask people to challenge some of their thinking, right? So even with your music, you guys know Doechii. Am I saying her name right? Doechii. Her music was a little different, right? You know, when I first heard it, I was like, okay, she's a little out there, but out there seems to be really what people want to hear, that anxiety song. But if you listen to the lyrics and then you go and dig a little bit deeper to why she wrote that song was coming through when she was going through addiction and she was anxious. Her life, she lost her job. She was going through it, right? And that has become a highlight, as these songs were a reflection of her really deep, vulnerable emotions, and now they're hits. I had Prentice Powell. He's a spoken word artist, and he wrote a lot of poems that made him famous about his lack of relationship with his father. But then now that him and his father's relationship is better, he doesn't even want to do those poems anymore, because those poems were coming from a place of pain and hurt. Do y'all have any poems or music that when you wrote it, you was in one place that now when people are like, oh, that's my favorite song, like, damn, I gotta sing that again? Or you want me to do that poem again? I want to retire that song. I want to retire that poem, because I used it to heal, or I did it when I needed to heal. And now I'm over that. I'm like, I'm in love now, married or whatever. I'm just making this up now. But are there any pieces that you're like, I'm all set, that I wrote that when I was going through it and I could care to never sing it again or care to never recite it again?
For me, no, not yet. No.
You think?
And I don't think I've done enough. Because I tend to do like either like the favorites of the crowd that I know they're gonna like, that I'm gonna get a good reaction. So I have like my good amount that I do. And then sometimes I'll like, I'll try something new to see, you know, if it hits. But I definitely haven't performed like all enough to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not sick of that poem yet?
No.
Not yet. Okay. Because I wonder about that. Like when an artist has to do a song and they've been doing it for a long time, they get sick. Like New Edition, do they get sick of singing Candy Girl? Right. Like, you know, you know, like
I'm sure.
But, like at this point, I don't want to sing Candy Girl.
I'm sure as an artist and as you're growing, right? You want to, and that's a great question too, by the way. Like I feel for me, like I have a song that I have songs that I do not like, and that's probably because I have a huge catalog.
He does. He really does.
One of them's Wasted Love. And Wasted Love was on my last project, and that was one of the songs when I was going through a horrible divorce. So it kind of was like, now people want to hear me sing Wasted Love, and I'll be like, nah, I don't want to sing it. But I have to, because it's like a very popular song from my catalog. Now, one kind of has nothing really to do with, it does have to do with love or whatever. And it's probably one of the favorite songs from me, which is Adore. And I don't necessarily like singing Adore that much. I don't. And it is so funny because that's one of my most popular popular songs. It goes in my bed, ready, and then it goes Adore. And that's it. So and I be trying to pull people away from that, be like, hey, look at this right here. There's some more shiny good ones, but they stick on those ones, and I'm like, oh man, like no, like people be ready for Adore. Like even if you have clips of mine and you see it, like people start screaming before I even sing it, and it's weird. And to me, I'm like, because I'm so much into, like, I grew up in the '90s, so I'm thinking you're supposed to be doing all these ad libs and like all this soulful singing, and I think singers want to hear that. I don't think people necessarily. People want to just hear something that sounds good to them, and they can vibe to it.
Right, but those become fan favorites, right? And so, as you think about building your career, and again, since art is such a reflection of what we're going through, and it's therapy for a lot of us. Some people, they just sing whatever, the producer or whoever their record companies tell them to sing. But for most artists that I've spoken to and that I've researched, they only really want to sing things that speak to their heart, right? That they can connect to, that resonates with them, or they write their own music. And that means at particular times it connects, and then you move on to something else. And then it's like, do I really want to sing that? Like at the time I was singing that, song, I was going through this. Like Mary's good for that. Well, she'll tell you like what she was going through with certain albums. Like that's why when I went to her concert and she was talking about, this is for her fans, and she was like taking us through the journey, we all were like right there with her, because like we was listening to those songs when we was going through stuff too. So it doesn't always have to be something you shy away from, but I think in those moments you can see your growth, and you can sing the songs or recite the poems from a new space of empowerment, because somebody out there might still be going through whatever you were going through in that moment, although you've moved past it. So
that's so true. Like I really, and that's a point I think where it comes hard as being an artist. I'm sure as a poet as well, because you want to do the fan favorites, obviously, but I think that's the dope part about this whole thing is you don't know what's gonna hit. You don't really know. I thought Adore was just gonna be cool. I'm be honest, because again, I wasn't really singing like what I call singing. See, that's the thing. Now there's Rey's book of singing, and then there's Adore makes people feel good, and and you have to understand those type of things as you're creating songs or you're creating whatever. As you said at the top, are you creating this for yourself, or are you creating this for people? Right. So I had to get out of that, because I feel like at some points I'm like, I feel like I need to get this off my chest. Right. So I'm trying to like bring people into this, and they're still like, even when you're talking about marrying the decades, there's some people that are like, oh, Rey, I am R&B too, and that's it. Right. Because of whatever. And I'll be like, oh, maybe it was the space that I was in at that time, and those songs hitting with you a little harder because I was going through a breakup, or I was going out, or I was in so much in love, or whatever. So I love it though. I love the challenge of it. I'll say. Yeah. It's because it's definitely a challenge.
So we've kind of given a little bit of background of what, art therapy is and what it isn't, creating a safe space. It's not that it has to be good, right? It's about, really being able to have a space for emotional expression. So I want to ask you guys, based on all of that, and I forgot to take that off the screen. Sorry, guys. What does therapy mean to you? If you had to sort of summarize it at this point, how has therapy or connected or not connected with you at this point in your life?
Oh man, I always say when I lost my mom, had I not gone through therapy, I would not be here today. I will honestly wholeheartedly say that. So for me, it's healing. And I thought the only thing that was healing for me was music. But I also found that therapy was so healing for me. And just being able to talk and you're not talking to like one of your boys or your homies, something like that. You're talking to someone that doesn't have that an opinion about you or whatever, and just giving you steps to help you get somewhere else, you know. And I feel like it's all about your mind frame, like, and I've learned that too. Even when we were having our like conversation tonight, it was my mind frame was somewhere else, because I was like, no, it needs to be like this, and you were like, well, Ray, how about it's a challenge. You challenge me. I like to be challenged. I rarely do, because when I'm challenged, I come out swinging. So healing is just it. Therapy is so healing, man, for me. And I encourage people who you don't, because a lot of us brown people think we don't need it. And you're so wrong.
Right.
You're so wrong, because we do.
Yeah.
We really do. And sometimes you need someone to help you bring those best practices out, because sometimes you might not know what the best practices are, because you're like me and you're too focused, and you're like, I'm focused on this goal right here and that's all I want, but you need someone to like coach to bring you in and be like, hey, okay, I know you're focused on this, but like, check this out. If you just take your thoughts and just shift them just a little bit, I think you'll be able to get a little bit further.
Well, I did say that. So Reesa, your turn. I got it right now, y'all. There we go. I love that little thing that just makes me happy. I had to get it right, y'all. That's the perfectionist in me. What can I say? Reesa, what's up with you? What does therapy mean to you? And we're gonna try it. I can't believe we're almost at the 10 minutes left in the show.
Wow.
I know.
So when good talking is happening.
Similar to what Ray said, one of the things I love, so I'm actually been back in this year. So I did 3 years. I think last time I was here, we talked about it. And then I was out for about I think it's been 2 years I was out. And then because of what I went through the last year, I got back in this year. And I had wanted to anyways. I was nervous about the fit, and that's a hard thing. But it's been great. Shout out to my therapist, and she's a Leo. I think she's on vacation right now. So therapy to me, so like Ray was saying, talking to someone who just doesn't know you, you know what I mean? Because it's friends and whatever support. I have an amazing support system, but you are not really getting professional advice, right? So it's it more become vent sessions, and it's we're not here to be each other's therapists. It's great to have people to go to cry on a shoulder at times. But if you really want to work on stuff, you need someone with that professional brain who doesn't know you, doesn't know anything, just what you're telling them, and they can guide you. And my first time around, it was extremely intense, because that was the beginning of my healing journey. Now this is more just me needing guidance, and me needing maintenance, and going through this, going through that. And I love, it's just lax. It feel like you're talking to your homegirl or your homeboy or whatever. But they're helping you. They're really actually helping you. And it really is them helping you help yourself.
You better talk about it.
That's what people, whoever is has their things about therapy, because I'm sure I told you last time, I'm the only one in my family who and my dad was the only one who would get that type of help and stuff like that. So it's they're just helping you help yourself. They're just connecting the pieces and this and that. It's not some big, it's really just communication and learning about you, and being able to break things down all the way down to the smallest thing, whatever you need to just connect the dots for yourself, so that when you can go home and reflect and figure some things out for yourself.
It's sort of I look at it sort of with a personal trainer, right? A personal trainer is just showing you some workouts to the best practices. That's all, just showing you how to take it to the next level. And that's what I look at the same thing with therapy. What I got from it was hey, try this. And all about shifting your mind frame. That's when you do that, trust me, sky becomes the limit, man. And that was when I got those therapy sessions, man. It was the best thing I ever did in my life. And I always talk about that.
I love it.
Always.
So the benefits of art therapy and art healing in general, and these are evidence-based, right?
Mhm.
It reduces your cortisol levels, right? Which is stress, right? It improves your self-awareness.
Mhm.
It enhances your communication skills, and it builds emotional resilience, aka your emotional capacity. So there's always good reasons. So going out to your karaoke and doing all those things are really good. So we're gonna move into the bet on self moments, y'all. Can you believe it? Bet on self moments. Just for those that don't know, because right, I know y'all see me hashtagging bet on self all the time.
All the time. I love it.
This is my framework, strongly inspired by my now late father. He's been gone almost 7 years. That is crazy to me. But he always told me to bet on myself, right? And back then I didn't really get it. You know, I'm like, okay, daddy, okay, I'll bet on myself. Okay. But I then, after he passed away, started saying it to myself as a mantra. It was a way to push me forward, right? Which is bet on yourself. So it means to believe in yourself, to empower yourself, aka encourage yourself, and to transform your thinking, right?
Mhm.
Your stinking thinking has to be transformed, right? And if not now, then when? And if not who, right? If not you, then who,
Mhm.
right? So when you think about that, y'all gotta do it in a minute. Tell me about your bet on self moments or something that's coming that you're getting ready to do. Because sometimes you've been betting on yourself for a while, but what's the next big bet that you're about to do? That's what I want to know. What's your next big bet on self moment? What's coming? Reesa, you're up first. Ladies first.
Okay, well, I actually just like 2 hours, well, at like 8 o'clock, I had made a post. So today was a bet on self moment. So a few months ago, I finally, so what I had mentioned briefly before about my work with the youth, for a long time, even before I worked with the youth, I always had a vision to have my own nonprofit and to help the kids in the community and help teenagers and stuff because of my story and what I went through. So a few months ago, I did, I am now a registered nonprofit. So I have the shirt on. I had to wear it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
All right, now,
hey,
what's the name of it?
congratulations.
It is called Purposeful Pain Mentoring.
Okay.
So,
Hey,
and it's
man.
all, this is all connected. So it's all, so what you're saying about like art and healing and all that, this is now, I'm graduating from healing myself to now I'm in the movement of like now passing it down to
Dope.
like my younger self, which is the youth in the community.
I love that for you.
So
Ray, what about you?
Bet on self. I've been
Yeah.
betting on myself for a long time, but recently, and when I say recent, probably in the last 3 years, I want to say, I stepped away from music to become a radio host and really put my foot into what I wanted to do. And the challenge that came when I went back to music was there were up and coming new people coming along and all those good stuff. And some of the doors that were easily open for me before wasn't so available. So then I said, oh, I didn't get mad. I just said, you know what? I'm going to create my own platforms and create my own tours and all that stuff. So that's when I created Rey Royale and Friends. And I'm in the talks right now of doing a tour with Rey Royale and Friends.
I love this.
So, you know,
This is
always
dope.
bet on yourself, man. Don't wait for nobody else to give you anything because they're not going to do it. And don't, because you're not getting something at some point, don't take it negatively.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
Take it in stride.
Take it in stride.
Right. And think about, what is this telling me? Right. Is there any truth to what this person is sharing? I said this a couple episodes before. Is there any truth to what this person is sharing about me or about the situation? And is any of the information that this person is sharing with me going to help me grow?
Right.
Because sometimes, even though we don't want to grow because it's uncomfortable or we don't like the messenger who's saying it, if we ask ourselves those two questions, we will manage our emotions and our feelings, because often those things don't always give us the best starting point, right? It can make us, jump out the window, and it can cause you to, go to a place mentally that you'll be like, Dag, I wish I would have just breathed or just walked away for a second. I would have handled things differently. All right. We might get at the top of the hour if it just pay attention, that thing come on, we got to let that go. And then we'll wrap this bad boy up. Power pivot check-in, everybody. How do you currently use your creative outlets to manage your emotions? Right? Because remember, this show is supposed to be the virtual couch. We're giving y'all tools, right? You know, we have to find ways to build our capacity because life is not going to stop lifing on you. I don't care how perfect you are, how well you do everything, how good of a person you think you are, how good your character is. Something will come and challenge you. And how will you deal with it when it shows up? If it hasn't happened yet, mark my word, something will happen, right?
That's right.
So let's go to my final segment. Let's go to my final segment. Let me take this off the screen. Y'all know what it is. Coach's Corner, baby. Y'all think I can do this in a minute? Probably not. I'm probably going to have the legal disclaimer come on at any second now. So I'm going to wait and see if it pops up. But Coach's Corner is all about us reflecting on what we thought about this show, our takeaway. We want the listeners to take away from tonight's episode. Ray,
Yes.
what do you want them to take away? And if you hear the legal disclaimer, I started with you first because you know what it sounds like.
Right.
You pause if it comes on.
Yeah. For me, the biggest takeaway is what we just talked about. For me, is betting on self. Always bet on yourself, man, because when you believe, you can make everyone believe. Trust me, if you put the work and the effort into it. And also don't be afraid of getting healing from therapy.
Yep.
We are the Urban Heat. Expect the unexpected. Unorthodox radio from Boston and beyond. Heat.a1fm.com and iHeartStation.
I'm getting better. And that means that we need to wrap the show up. So, Coach's Corner. But throw this on y'all real quick. Don't underestimate the power of your healing, and don't underestimate that you can reinvent yourself and that you can control your narrative and write your story. Don't allow your past circumstances and what you've been through and who told you couldn't do it to be the dictator of your future, right? I think what we've learned from each other and just from watching artists, that often it's not the right time. Often you won't always get the support you need, but you have to bet on yourself. You have to believe in yourself more than anyone else. And if you can't believe in yourself, tap into the people who are pouring into you that do believe in you more than you believe in yourself, because they're all around you. If you just look, if you just take heed to it, there's people telling you about your greatness and encouraging you to be great and to move out of your comfort zone. But are you listening to them? So y'all stay tuned. We're going to play some slow jams. Y'all know we got to, pay the bills. So I didn't went over about a few more minutes. And thank you guys for tuning in every week and supporting Conversations with Coach Live. You like what I'm doing, share this live. Make sure you go follow. Where can they follow you guys?
At Rey Royale Music, on every platform.
Yes. And you, Reesa?
You can find me, Reesa Write, ReesaWrite, on all platforms.
I love that for both of them. So y'all know what to do. Keep on being great. Make sure you bet on self this week. See you next week right here on the virtual couch. Good night.
Shout out to Coach Live.
Coach LA's time to listen to conversations that's gonna keep you winning. Sunday nights at 10 p.m. on the Urban Heat, just calling. Conversations with Coach La 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 La. Conversations with Coach La 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 La. If you got something on your mind, you can call in, you can hit a line. She the realest, ooh, she the realest. You can tap in, loud, always get a business to empower you.